What's up, everyone, and welcome to Project XTalk, an Xbox podcast, episode number 201, presented by Save the Game Media. I'm your host, Kevin. On today's episode, we're going to talk all about Xbox's Tokyo Game Show. We got some announcements from PlayStation State of Play, and Assassin's Creed Shadows has been delayed. But before we get to all that and more, got to introduce my co-host, JamPackSam. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well, man. It has been a very busy week. I'm very tired. I've gotten like 5 hours of sleep every night this week, and I'm just like crushing caffeine and, probably not great for the heart, but we're here, so I can't complain. Doing pretty well.
You're going to have that Tom and Jerry, like your heart just beating.
I have hit that point.
Chest,
Yeah, I have a really nice coffee pot that I use in the mornings. And when I hit cup number 3, all of a sudden it's like, hey, you're real nervous right now for no good reason. You should probably slow down. So I appreciate that.
That's crazy. I have it on good authority from Miles _ of Amanda over at Carpool Gaming that apples have caffeine in them. So if you just want to eat some apples.
I can't sip casually on an apple in the office, though. You know what I mean? Like, I can't just be there just pounding apples all day in corporate America.
Does apple juice have I'm not going to Google that.
The sugar just through the roof. But how are you? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm good. I have had some injuries this week, so I'm a little frustrated with that. Yeah, but not one, but both of my feet are injured. Top of my right foot, bottom heel of my left foot. Don't know how. Don't even ask. Like, I play soccer, but there was no contact. So some muscular thing. I don't know. Something's going on. But I've just been resting the last 2 days, feeling a little better. But it was very frustrating.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, man. But hopefully you've gotten time for games. And I know we have the TGS news that I think there were a couple of big drops from that. So I'm excited to hear your thoughts on that. But I'm excited to chat some games. But hopefully you heal up fast. That'll be good.
Yeah. Well, I've been playing some games, and we're going to talk about them for sure. But before we get to that, this is Project XTalk. We are live every Thursday right here on youtube.com/Save the Game Media. If it can't catch us live, post every Friday morning on your favorite audio platform of choice. While we're there, make sure to drop us that 5-star review. It helps us in that algorithm. If you want to support us even further and get early audio access to all of our content and exclusive bonus shows, head over to patreon.com/Save the Game Media. Choose the tier that's right for you, like our current Patreon supporters. So thank you to Fabulous Brianna, Brianna's mom, Brianna's brother, Lindsay, Nikolai Knight, Cypher, Primus, Brendan Myers, Marcus O'Neill, Lillian, Mimi J, David Hotright, Dave Harp, the Xbox Expansion Pass, Alpaca Tom, Lee Navarro, Silknit, Ellie Woods Parker, the Third, Chad, Shelby Macy, and Rick Davis. Thank you all for your support. We appreciate every one of you, and I see some of you hanging out with us today. Shout out Rick, Captain Logan, Nissa. Good to see everyone. Silking it. Happy you are all here joining us live. Sam, that's housekeeping out of the way, though. So let's jump right into what have you been playing, my friend?
Dude, it has been quite a wild week. Now, I see we both have been playing Space Marine 2. I finished the campaign, not a long campaign, and I put out a video on that on Sunday, just giving my thoughts on why it went for me a bit of a disappointment. Not really a disappointment. I think that's an overstatement. I think that it met my expectations and wasn't surpassing them. And then the more that I played it and the more that I got into the rhythm of it and the more that I unlocked new weapons and really got into the story a little bit more, it's a great game. It's a very, very great game. I don't know if it'll be up there for like a game of the year contender, but it checks every box of what it needed to do, and finishing out the story, getting into the operations, even the multiplayer is pretty solid. I went from lukewarm or like good on Space Marine 2 to it is a great game. It's a very, very great game.
Yeah, I saw your I forget what it was, either Twitter or Threads, but I saw you post about how much you loved it after you rolled credits, and I was like, that is not what he told me 2 days ago. I got to know what changed. So I have also beat the campaign since last week. Played fully co-op with my brother Kyle there. Really love the gameplay, like exactly what I wanted. I wish there were more times where you could use those thrusters and just jump in the air. Like, that is so satisfying. It wasn't the first game too, but man, having the hammer, like, and some of the set pieces in this game, ooh. There was one where I was like, this is an Avengers moment, and it's towards the end, you might know what I was talking about, but I was like, I was expecting portals to start showing up and people, I'm like, well, let's go, this is so epic.
Yeah, I think the further I got into it, the thing that really drove it home for me as being a great game was the sense of scale that I got from the world that you're in, because you have these giant cityscapes that are off in the distance that you can't really go to. Like, it's not like something you can travel to, but it's just like a, how did mankind make this? You know, like, it's just such a huge world that they've put you in. Um, and then, like you said, towards the end of the game, not to get into spoilers or anything, but it's just so vivid. And the graphics, I was actually playing. I'm curious if you played in performance mode or quality mode.
I played performance.
So I actually switched over to quality because I was like, how good can this look on an Xbox Series X? Because you know me, I'm not a big 30 FPS doesn't bother me. I don't really care. So I switched it over to 30 FPS, and towards the end, some of those moments, I'm like, legitimately some of the best stuff I've seen this generation. I mean, the colors, the HDR. I don't even have a great TV. Like, it was like $600, good 4K TV, but not like a, whatever the big high end ones are. But really, really just impressed with the sense of scale, the detail, the quality of the graphics, the story I thought was really well done. Love it through and through.
Yeah, the story wasn't my favorite. Mainly, it's just like I have a really hard time getting into Warhammer. I think that's what it is. Like, just some of the things that were going on, I'm like, there's cool moments in there for sure. And I think I picked up a lot of what was going on, but there are things that kind of went over my head. I'm like, you're just saying words at this point, especially during some of the battles. I was like, I just stop talking to my headset, please, like for 5 seconds.
Yeah, this is one of those things where, and I do this a lot with sci-fi, where there's lore here. There's tons of lore. There are 40,000 books I could read. I don't care. Like, you just do whatever you need to do, because I want to get into Warhammer. I might play Darktide. I'm kind of like teetering on the edge of playing Darktide after this. It's also on Game Pass, but
is that the medieval 4-player co-op one? Because I played another.
Yeah.
I played that one. I enjoyed that one as well.
Yeah, I'm just kind of in the mood for that, like, gore that comes with this. But I see Warhammer as kind of like, for me, a lot of one-off games where you've got Bolt Gun, you've got Space Marine, you've got Darktide, you've got all of these other things you could do. But I just like kind of compartmentalizing and being like, yes, I am very proper Gears of War man, going around smacking people with a hammer, and that's kind of where I'm at with Space Marine.
Yeah, I remember specifically playing it at one point, and I was like, see, it's like Gears of War, but like not cover shooting, more like more melee focused. And Kyle was like, yeah, I wish it was Gears of War though. Like, for the story. I wish I could be Marcus and like everyone in that world instead of what we're doing right now. Gameplay, super fun though.
Yeah, I gotta say, I love, obviously, Lieutenant / Captain Titus, and I like the backstory. If you played Space Marine 1, there's a lot of, obviously, ties to Space Marine 2. Who would have thought? But it gets the job done. Do you think this game needs a cover system? I'm curious on your thought. You don't think it does?
I don't, because for me, I know I get the Gears comparisons, and I've made them myself, but I do treat this like third person Doom most of the time, where in like Doom, I'm not looking for cover. I'm like running around, like it's all about getting execution kills, refill your health, shields, and just continue that loop. And that's kind of how I treat Space Marine.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that as I'm playing it, I think I just have this intuition to like fall into that rhythm of like a Gears game where it's like snap to cover, peek over, shoot something, get a headshot, use your Nasher and blow something apart. But the cover is the armor. Like, that's what you've got. So I have to like constantly remind myself that these are two very different games, even though there are some overlap there. But I'm glad you enjoyed it as well. It definitely is worth $70 for me and the enjoyment I got out of it.
Yeah, I had a blast, and like if there's ever a time where I'm in a lull and other people want to like hop in for some multiplayer or whatever, I'm down. I'll reinstall. But like I was there for the campaign. I got what I wanted. Certainly worth the money for me.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
I see you still playing X Defiant.
Yes. So moving on to X Defiant. I finished the season 1 battle pass. Keep in mind, I jumped in when there were, I believe, a week left, or there was a week left in season 1, and there were 90 tiers to the battle pass. So played a good bit of X Defiant over the past couple of weeks. Now, I have not had the chance to dive into season 2, which just launched on Tuesday, but they've got new weapons, new map, a lot of other stuff coming throughout there. But yeah, I don't know. I'm still having a good time with it. I am, not a Ubisoft apologist, but I'm giving them credit where credit's due. They've had a rough week. X Defiant, not part of the rough week. They have kind of redeemed themselves a little bit with that one for me. So I'm playing more of that, and I will continue to play more. And I did want to show off one thing that I got this week. I got a new gaming laptop. So
Ooh-wee.
this is a Asus ROG G14 Zephyrus. I believe I said that correctly, with a 4070 in it. And look how thin that thing is. Hold on, let's get.
It's very thin.
Like, so I wanted a new video editing laptop because I edited a lot of video throughout the week, and I wanted something I could grab and go. But as I was looking at MacBook Pros, I'm like, can't play Helldivers on that. So I looked around more, and I found the Windows equivalent that doesn't have nearly as good of a battery life, but it's like not, a gargantuan gaming PC that you have to like lug around and get a forklift certification to haul. So I picked that up. I got it open boxed at Best Buy, and I'm having fun with it. I've installed a couple of things on it, so I'll be playing more. Might install XDefiant, but excited to give that a run for its money over the next couple of days.
That's awesome. I like Asus stuff. My monitor's Asus. Obviously, I got the ROG Ally. Yeah. So like, I'm a big fan. I know other people not really in their camp, but they make quality products as far as I'm concerned.
This thing is rock solid. I mean, it's got the build quality of what you would expect from like a real laptop. And I say real laptop because gaming laptops are previously, in my experience, like it's cheap plastic and they assume that you're going to probably plug it into an external monitor and have a keyboard and a mouse with it. This feels like something that I could comfortably, number one, type scripts on, which is what I'm going to be using it for 90% of the time, but also edit hardcore video. And it's not weighing down my back. I mean, it's super, super, light and impressive. But yeah, I love Asus and all of the stuff they're doing right now. So excited to put that one through the ringer as Xbox continues to move towards the PC space, which is also something I kind of had in mind where I'm like, is this me buying an Xbox Series X Pro? Like, is this what I'm doing right now? Because it kind of feels that way. I don't know.
Speaking of gaming laptops, I think the last gaming laptop I played on, and I don't even know if you can class it. This was like, mind you, when did Diablo 3 come out, right? Like,
oh god,
10 plus years ago.
Try 2014,
yeah.
2013.
Okay, so it probably wasn't even a gaming laptop. It was probably just my laptop.
2012. It was 2012.
All right, take me back to 2012. It was the last time I played a game on a laptop. It was Diablo 3, and it ran so bad that I was like, I can't play this. I got to go out and buy an actual computer.
Yeah, I was worried that I wouldn't get the performance that I'm looking for, but with the dedicated graphics card, I ran an HDMI to my 4K TV in my living room, and I played Helldivers 2 in 4K on my TV, and it was running at 60 FPS. And it's like, was it ultra maxed out? No. But was it better than me sitting here killing my back at my computer for another 4 hours a day after I've been here for 12 hours? Yes, it was. So I'm going to keep doing that.
Rick Davis in the chat says, you know what would match that nicely, Sam? A PS5 Pro. Oh. They're still available. Go buy one.
See, it's just like I don't think that I will. I think I will. I think I'll wait my 2 to 5 years for all of the PlayStation games to come to PC, and then I will play them in ultra wide and pay $10 for an upgrade later on down the line.
Yeah, shout out Clint though. He got one of the anniversary bundles. He's the only person I know, like in multiple Discords, that was able to actually grab one. So
I feel like that's the equivalent of whenever in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, like the actual real person got a ticket. Whenever Veruca Salt's dad is over here farming chocolate bars, like that's Clint versus the scalpers. So you love to see it. I really respect it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I will finish us off for what we've been playing. I have been playing Metaphor ReFantazio, the demo. Not breaking no embargoes here, okay? I've gone as far as you can in the demo, main story wise. You can continue playing and like do some of the side content and grind up some levels, and then your save data will carry over to the main game. But Sam, if this isn't my game of the year come the end of the year, I will be very surprised.
Tell me more. Give me why.
Love this game. Yes, is it very Persona coded? Absolutely. And they don't even hide it most of the time. Like when you shake someone's hand to form a new bond, it literally does the zoom in thing, just like Persona. You get music, you get a little card. They have tons of anime cutscenes so far. Like you can tell they spent a lot of money on this game, and they're really well done, beautiful story, super intriguing. I'm really liking what's going on so far. But like the way you unlock your powers, and they call them archetypes in here instead of personas, like in Persona 5 anyway, you like rip off a mask. Here you like rip out your heart. It's very it's crazy. Like Atlas is always doing weird stuff like that. Like Persona 3, you shoot yourself in the head. Like that's how you do it there. So they always have some weird thing like that. But I love the changes they've made to the combat. Like there are real-time combat elements now, kind of like Trails Through Daybreak, where you can just attack enemies in the field. If you're more powerful than them, you can just kill them there without going to turn-based. Speeds it up, makes it a lot quicker to get through dungeons. I don't think the dungeons so far have been nearly as good as Persona 5. Like there's no real puzzles. They're kind of just running through hallways and like exploring a little bit. So maybe the dungeons get a little better. That'd be my one critique, but the combat system's fantastic. Instead of one thing I do like, as opposed to Persona, where only the main character can change his persona, in Metaphor, every character can change their archetype. Like you can, you're the warrior class, I'm gonna change you to the healer class, and so on and so forth. Like you can just mix a match, which just makes gameplay way better for me. So I don't know, man. I can't wait to play more of this game.
Yeah, I'm glad that it's on Game Pass. It's one
it's not on Game Pass.
It's not?
No.
I could have sworn that it was.
No, it's one of those that was at every Xbox showcase recently, so people think it is, but it's not.
Oh man, maybe I am thinking about Kunitsugami, even though I know they're totally different games before the chat comes after. I'm very aware.
Complicated words, though, you know?
Yeah, they're very complicated words. Not on Game Pass. Well, anyways, I was going to say I'll give it a shot because it's on Game Pass. I'm probably never going to play this just because of my personal taste. However, I do like seeing more of this kind of game continue to get a spotlight from Xbox, of course. Like that's the whole point. Add more variety, and we saw a lot of variety at TGS, which we'll talk about, I'm sure, more in a minute. But I will dive into the demo. How about that? There's your middle ground. We'll see if I actually end up liking it, which is the beauty of a demo. But yeah, happy to see this one come out for the fans that are out there.
You'll know how you feel after the demo, because the demo took me almost 4 hours. So they they give you a good chunk of it's the prologue. So they give you a good chunk of the game. They teach you basically the whole tutorial section. So you'll know how you feel.
That's a lot of game. I was used to playing the MX versus ATV demo, and I just played the first 10 minutes for 4 hours. So it's nice to have an actual demo that's 4 hours long in the modern day. They've really come a long way. You'll love to see that.
Those games were so good back in the day.
They were.
So I'll look forward to playing that more. It comes out in a few weeks. I'm glad I knocked that out because I got Starfield Shattered Space waiting for me on Monday.
Yeah, same. I'm excited about that. The more that I read about it, which I'm not doing like deep dives on it or anything, but the more excited I get as we hear more about, what to expect. We talked about it in depth last week, so I'm excited about that one too.
All right. Well, that is what we've been playing. Why don't we jump into the news, because we got a lot to recap, starting off with Xbox Tokyo Game Show. They had a little presentation this morning. Sam, did you wake up and watch it at 6 a.m. Eastern time?
So I woke up at 4. I was up at 4
a.m. You were ready for it.
Which, again, going back to the beginning of the show, 5 hours of sleep a night at this point. When I woke up at 4 a.m., I had no intention of watching the Xbox Tokyo Game Show. I was just going to read the recap. I caught a couple of snippets here and there. I kind of scrubbed through it. Saw some Katamari tossed in there. Mm-hmm. I always love seeing some Katamari. A couple of things that caught my eye, but nothing that was like, yes, this is the moment for Xbox. But it wasn't a bad show by any means. It definitely felt like it was more of like a marketing beat with a couple of cool drops. That's my takeaway.
Yeah, that's always how I feel about Tokyo Game Show. Like nothing I saw was bad, but it's not earth shattering. It's not going to be like a showcase level announcement. This is very much like, hey, we're marketing our games to the Japanese audience, and we're going to have some Japanese focused games coming to our platform to try and draw you in. So why don't we go through the announcements? We don't have to linger on some of the less interesting ones, but they kicked it off with Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta Snake Eater. We got a new trailer, still no release date. Thought the trailer was good. I'm not a Metal Gear guy, but I was like, I really don't know what more they need to show about this game. Like, when is it coming out?
Yeah, I think we need a release date at this point. And I'm sure, I'm sure it feels like a June game to me, like an early summer game. And it's just purely a vibe. Like I don't have any kind of scientific, like this is when they're resetting their annual fiscal year. I don't know. It just feels like a good, hey, here's your summer game. But it could be next fall. I don't know. It feels like they've been talking about it for a while now. But this is one that I'm glad to see them continuing to support multi-platform, because there for a while it felt like, I believe was Phantom Pain the prequel, Ground Zero, Was that a PlayStation exclusive briefly, or am I making that up in my mind?
I didn't know that was a Metal Gear game. I'll be honest.
Okay.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I just know whether it was or it wasn't, it felt like Metal Gear was a very PlayStation centric franchise for a very long time. Like it had that identity. And now that Xbox seems to have locked down more of the marketing for Delta Snake Eater, it's great to be able to see that identity kind of spread out more. So more people are going to be aware that they can play Metal Gear on Xbox. Out of all of the Tokyo Game Show stuff that I wasn't interested in going in, Metal Gear continues to be one that I look at and I'm like, I'd probably play that just because of my personal interest. That's just me.
It's weird because this was revealed at a PlayStation event, right, and then every showing since has been Xbox.
It's very, I just wonder if like maybe the marketing changed hands or they struck some kind of deal between now and then, or maybe that was the plan all along and this is just Konami doing what they're going to do with it. But regardless, like I feel like it's a huge win for Xbox to, much like Call of Duty, just get that identity back that you can play these games here. Not that you can't over there, and not that they won't even sell better over there, but you can play them here if you want them. And I think that's really powerful.
Rick Davis says Ground Zero was the first Metal Gear game to release multi-platform.
So I was the opposite of right. I was completely wrong then. So my mistake on that.
You said spring, early summer. I'm locking in March because I think this game was supposed to come out this year, but I think it's going to be early next year.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that too. That would be a great time period too. Yeah.
Just don't do February. February is already stacked.
Yeah, and you know what? You should do February 14th or like anywhere. Yeah, like I feel like that would be a really good day.
14th through the 28th, I think, is really the range.
Yeah, not like anybody has like fiancés or anything that we've got to now like maintain relationships with between February 14th and the end of the month. No, not at all.
Yeah. I will. Obviously, we're going to talk about Assassin's Creed, but my friend who is a huge Assassin's Creed guy, 100% all the games. I was like, maybe your girlfriend can buy this for you for Valentine's.
Honestly, maybe that was the strategic move. They're like, we need to sell more copies. What if we put it as something that people can buy their significant other on Valentine's Day?
Yeah. All right. Next up, My Hero Academia is coming to Overwatch 2. Got to say, character models look horrifying. Absolutely. I get they were probably just skins for actual characters in the game. Horrifying.
Wait, what was this? I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
My Hero Academia. It's an anime.
Oh, yes. See, this is one, again, scrubbing. I was scrubbing because I heard you say Overwatch and then I heard My Hero Academia and I was like, not processing. I didn't even look at that one. So I'm sure they'll probably make like $1 million or something.
Just pull. Yeah. While I read the next one, just pull up what the character models look like and tell me they aren't disturbing. Because they're disturbing. Age of Mythology Retold is getting DLC. The Immortal Pillars got a trailer. No release date. You can wish list it now. Cool for Age of Mythology fans. Glad they're continuing to support this game.
I'm kind of scared right now.
Thank you.
For the audio listeners, I'm looking at the My Hero Academia. This is like whenever this has the same feel of whenever Timmy Turner came into Jimmy Neutron's world in that crossover episode of Fairly Odd Parents. And
that's gonna be the
where
Jimmy
it's like
Power Hour.
Yeah, it's where you had 2D Timmy and then you had him go into 3D Jimmy's world. That's what this feels like, and I'm very uncomfortable. So hard pass on that. Also, Age of Mythology. I got a PC. I might play that now. Feels like something I should play on PC. Might not. I don't know.
We have Logan in the chat. They look great. ... And then Ghostly Guys. They looked horrible.
I mean, here's my thing. Maybe we can just pretend that doesn't exist and just talk about how good some of the Overwatch WoW skins were, because the WoW skins, a couple of those look pretty solid. Torb, no difference at all, but a couple of those look pretty solid.
All right, well, next up, we had Phil Spencer, who was kind of just hyping up Xbox, saying they've continued to see growth in Asia, and there are more console players to date than ever before. He then hypes up Shattered Space, saying it's fully localized, Diablo Vessel of Hatred, and Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. He then reveals StarCraft Remastered and StarCraft 2 coming December 5th for PC Game Pass.
Can we go back to Vessel of Hatred for a minute? Because I have a soapbox to get on with this one.
Oh, no.
As I was researching my new PC stuff, because Diablo is a very PC game, also plays wonderfully on Xbox, but it is a PC game. I feel like has that DNA. If you want to play Vessel of Hatred, you have to buy it twice if you play on PC and if you play on Xbox.
Yep.
Even if you buy it on the Xbox app because it's through BattleNet. It's just connected to your Xbox. Why can I play crossplay? Like, what's up with that? I can continue grinding my seasonal characters and my battle passes between my PC and my console. Why does the expansion get a different treatment? I'm very confused at that because that feels weird.
So is Diablo cross? Well, it probably is. I was gonna say, is it cross? Is it play anywhere? Like if I bought, because I feel like when it launched, like when I bought it on Xbox, I didn't get the PC version.
I don't think it's play anywhere, but
so I think it's cross save because it came to Game Pass. I think you have, I buy the game though, I don't think you get it both places, which is pretty, I think that's why they're keeping it consistent.
I just feel like that's so dumb whenever it's all through a BattleNet account. Like, why am I not redeeming a code and you can see that my BattleNet account is able to access the Vessel of Hatred stuff? Because I don't want to have to choose between my Xbox and my PC. So what this is leading me to is now if I want to play PC games while I'm at home, I've got an Xbox remote play and play my Xbox remotely on my PC, which again, these are very first world problems because it's literally on the other side of the wall that I'm on right now. But it's like it's the message that I'm sending here. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know why they make things harder than they have to be. So that's my rant on that.
I agree with you. Logan sums up. It's very much an Activision game, even though it's post Xbox.
100%. Yeah, I agree with that. But moving on to the greener pastures, hyped about StarCraft. I like to see that come back. You know, I made a joke in the XEP chat at 6 a.m. on the dot or roughly thereabouts, where I said, "Slang that ABK weight, Phil," and that's what I like to see. You know, bring back the stuff that people want, put it in Game Pass. And correct me if I'm wrong. The StarCraft remaster has been out for a hot minute. Has the StarCraft 2 remaster also been out for a hot minute?
I have no idea about that one. I looked up, I think it was 2017 the StarCraft remaster came out.
Okay. I'm Googling it to see, but I'm not 100% sure either. However, I'm happy to see both of them coming to Game Pass because these are games that I will play on my PC. I will try this, and I feel like they're going to play really well in ultra wide. So I'm excited to give that a shot, and it's giving me more reasons to go back to the Xbox app. So love seeing those pop up on the timeline.
I have good memories of modding StarCraft as a kid with Yu-Gi-Oh mods. So then, like when you were summoning bigger like machines or whatever to go wreck other bases, you would summon like the Egyptian gods, and then you go, that's what I was doing. Yeah,
it's solid. I never played StarCraft. I never got into it whenever I was a kid. So this is going to be my first time going in, and it is one that I feel like I have so many memories of. I have like the GameStop splash screens of the Giants, not Space Marine. I don't know what those guys are called. They're like the big Space Marine looking dudes with a cigar from StarCraft 2, I think it was. And I just remember that very vividly in ads. And that was always like a nostalgic thing for me. So to be able to go back and experience that with a fresh coat of paint, I'm all in on.
GameStop still owes me $5 for StarCraft Ghosts. Just throwing it out there.
God, I forgot about that game.
I pre-ordered it. Never came out. All right. Indiana Jones got a new trailer. It will also be localized in Japanese. I don't really have much to say. It's Indiana Jones. I'm kind of sick of seeing Indiana Jones, if I'm honest.
Yeah, me, I don't know if I'm sick of seeing Indiana Jones, but it's just like, put the game out. You know, like I'm just ready to kind of rip off that Band-Aid and get that ball rolling. But where's your hype level at for Indiana Jones in terms of where we started and where we are now?
I was just thinking about this the other day, to be honest. I'm not like overly hyped for it. Like
I'm not either.
I'll play it because it's in Game Pass and it's like Xbox's big first party Q4 game. But I very much see a world where like I don't like it, and then I come on here and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not playing this anymore.
I mean, it's just like I have about the same level of hype for Indiana Jones as I had for Hellblade 2. That's where I'm at with it. Where like, yeah, I'm gonna play it. I'll be there on day one, and then it's like, it'll be I'll play it and it'll be done and I'll be like, good game. And then that'll be what it'll end up being if it is in fact a good game. So yeah, I'm not as high on it as I was whenever it was first announced, because whenever it
that's how I felt.
Yeah, whenever it was shown off, I was like, Indiana Jones, that's a big deal. And the longer we've sat with it and the more that we've seen, it's not that what we've seen looks bad. It's just that I'm kind of like, yeah, it's in Indiana Jones. Like it's just a flat feeling, apathetic, I guess, for me right now.
Mm-hmm. I very much agree with you. Like I said, yeah. I can see me booting this up and just being like, meh.
Yeah. Right. As I say these things on an Xbox podcast, I look up and I see 68 comments in our chat, and I'm like, I don't have that open right now, and I'm not sure if I want to open it. So we'll see how that goes.
No, it's all good. It's all good. All right, getting to the new game announcements. We got a cute little Tanuki delivering mail game called Tanuki Pond Summer. No release date. Thought it looked adorable. This is one it's not didn't say it was coming to Game Pass, but this would be like I would play this and just have a good relaxing time.
Yeah, you can keep on rolling. Nothing to say here.
Great. Threads of Time coming to Xbox and PC. This is an awesome looking indie JRPG. Kyle Stevenson, friend of the show over at the Trophy Room, is doing PR for this game. This is like Chrono Trigger inspired, like a very much spiritual successor feeling. Had some sweet anime looking cutscenes. This might be my announcement of the show. Like, this looks awesome.
Yeah, I'm just glancing at the anime cutscenes. Looks good. Kind of has that it's like Sea of Stars, Octopath Traveler vibe. Like, is that what I'm getting there? I like the art style a lot. Very cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure when it's coming out. Maybe next year, hopefully. But damn, yeah, really, really excited for that one.
Very nice.
I know some of our chat. Yep, Clint, soaking it. They were excited for it. Here's one for you. We Love Katamari Reroll is available right now on Xbox Game Pass.
Let's go, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Now, for the record, if you don't have Game Pass and you also don't have an Xbox, number one, what you doing listening to this show? Number two, thanks for listening to the show. Number three, it's on sale for $7.50 on Steam and Switch.
Ooh,
so,
steal.
Yeah, very good deal right there. But I don't know what it is about Katamari. That's one of those games where it was like in the original Katamari Damacy was in the GameStop clearance bin whenever I was a kid for PS2. I picked it up. Does that count as your first acid trip? Like, what's going on with that game? I love Katamari because it's so weird. So anytime I get the chance to go back and play any kind of Katamari game, I'm always ready for it. And this is one I will definitely boot up for sure. Also feels like a good cloud game. Is it on cloud? Do we know that?
I don't know if it's on, because it just said on Game Pass. It didn't give the like announcement of cloud console PC.
Okay, cool. I will double check that. And then Chad, if you get to it before me, let me know. But this feels like a very good cloud game, whether you're remote playing in on your console or what have you. Yeah, you can play with cloud gaming, confirmed. So that's going to be really great. So if you have like a backbone or something, this feels like one of those games where it's not like a hyper competitive, you need to be Twitch shooting kind of thing. It would work really well.
I know Katamari was a bot in Astrobot, and then you got to be rolled up by him for a trophy.
That's good. I like that. I'm glad that exists.
Got a new trailer for Fragpunk. It's a pretty deep dive, actually, into the studio. They're putting a closed beta out October 10th.
Very nice. I'm excited about this, particularly because I'm in the weird vibe of I'm all about a weird free to play shooter right now. You know, we'll go from X Defiant Fragpunk. Sure, why not? I played this a little bit during I think it was an alpha or an early beta on PC, but it was like 10 to 15 minutes. I just got in to feel the shooting and then I kind of got distracted or something. But I'm excited to go back and play it on console because that's where I will spend most of my time with it. As always, I feel like we're getting very crowded in terms of the free-to-play shooter space. And in a world where Black Ops 6 is coming to Game Pass, it's going to be a rough sell to get people to put that down to go check out another free-to-play shooter that probably feels similar to others, but it's doing some unique things, so I'm holding out hope.
I was going to say, this game is very much banking on the fact of you looking at its card system and thinking, oh, wow, that's really interesting. Like, oh, there's a card that can make grass and then I can lay down there. There's a card that can make me fly and like my bullets go, like your bullets go slow-mo or something. Like, they have some cool ideas, but I don't know whether that's going to translate well in gameplay or if people will care past the novelty to actually play it.
Yeah, I remember whenever I played, again, very briefly on the alpha, like it integrates well, but it's a very different experience. It's not, if I remember correctly, as smooth as something like Neon White, where it had a card system, but like that was the fundamental core of the game. This kind of blends more of like a traditional shooter with that card mechanic. So I want to get in and spend more time with it before kind of casting judgment, but it has potential. And I like seeing new ideas that aren't just rehashed the same stuff. Not to throw like any game under the bus, but like Delta Force is just Battlefield. Like it's just Battlefield and it's free to play, which is fine because like I'm always down for more FPS games, but you know, it's nice to see something that switches up that formula a little bit.
Atlas showed another trailer for Metaphor ReFantasio, and then the demo announcement. I already talked about that game at length and what we're playing, so go back there if you missed it. We got a new trailer for Atelier Yumiya coming March 21st, first game of the series on Xbox. Sam, we already talked about that one when it was announced at the Nintendo Direct. I know you don't really care about those style games, so cool. That's coming to Xbox. Azure Zhang Rumble. This is a MOBA meets Battle Royale is the best way I can describe it. And Sam, you're going to look it up. And I'm going to tell you right now, probably not worth your time.
I'm excited about looking it up, though. Anytime you tell me something from one of these shows that like I know that I'm not going to be into, I look at it with like a morbid curiosity. And what I am seeing right now is something that my fiance would be deeply into. I can tell you that right now. She'd be all about this. So might have to give that one an install.
There's one character in that game that showed their ability multiple times where they could transform into inanimate objects. Like they transformed into like a sign and then hit on the battlefield. And when people walked by, then they popped out and started beating the crap out of them. I was like, all right, that's clever.
You know, the more that I look at this, you might be surprised at how much I might actually enjoy this, because whenever Pokemon Unite came out,
I was Pokemon Unite.
I was a big Pokemon Unite guy because we were doing co-op at my old place that I worked. We would do that on the lunch break whenever Pokemon Unite first dropped. And I really enjoyed that. So this kind of has like a less chaotic league feel to it. So I'm not, I just got to the sign part. That's cool. I might give this a shot. I don't know. I don't hate it. It's cool.
All right. I'm glad. Coming early 2025, Bandai Namco was bringing Bleach Rebirth of Souls. This looks like your classic anime fighter or 3D arena fighter. I don't know what they call these games anymore, but this doesn't look anything that we haven't seen 1,000 times.
Ooh, gosh, that's harsh. So this is like their answer to that really popular Dragon Ball game. Is that what I'm getting?
No, I don't think this is more like Naruto to Boruto stuff, I think, which
brother, you think that means something to me? What are you talking about, dude? Why what was that? What do you mean? Okay, all right,
what other reference can I give you? Budokai Tenkaichi.
What is what? I'm sorry, come again. We just keep going before I embarrass myself. This is rough.
Sin Duality Echoes of Ada. Looks like a mech survival game. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really understand what was going on in this trailer. This definitely isn't for me, but this did get a trailer.
It's got cool art. I'll give it that.
Anime Tekken.
Anime Tekken. Does that imply that Tekken doesn't already have like an anime vibe to it? I feel like Tekken is very, well, I mean, I guess Street Fighter's probably close. I don't know. We get somewhere there's a flock of nerds
closer to anime than Street Fighter.
I'm gonna get hunted down after this episode by some dude wearing a fedora and just get beat. I can feel it in my bones.
When I was writing this episode, I said, "This is Sam's episode. This is what it's about."
At least I make it fun. At least I'm not like that pass. You know, like at least I have fun with it. Yeah, at least I have fun.
Fallout 76 is getting pets.
Cool.
Yeah, you get cats. Cool. Suikoden Remasters coming March 6th. Got a new trailer. Also showed some comparisons to the OG games. Not for me, to be honest. Like Suikoden, I have no interest in having 1,000 teammates, and I don't know. I don't think the remasters look particularly impressive, but
this is a big deal, though, right? Like this is a very significant game. Yes. So, you know, we got to give credit where credit's due. Like these are games that even me, somebody who is the furthest from this fandom, has probably heard about a couple of times. So that's neat to see land on Xbox.
All You Need Is Help got a new trailer where you play. This is the game where you play as Tetris pieces and solve puzzles with other players. Looks like they had some mini games. Maybe you can some sort of farming area where you make a little places you can hang out. I also wrote WTF. What am I watching? Available today on Game Pass.
Yeah. Oh, it's available today.
Yeah.
Was that planned, or was the release date just like out there?
No, I think this was a shadow drop too.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like this kind of game getting a shadow drop because it doesn't need the hype. You know what I mean? Like if you hype this up too much, then it's going to get too big for its britches and then fall to the wayside. So, yeah, this is one that might be fun if you're into like Overcooked. Am I right in saying that? Like it feels like that kind of game.
Yeah, like you have to work together type. If you're into those experiences, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I probably won't play it, but Game Pass day one, cool, neat.
We got a new look at the game I hate saying, Slitterhead.
Yeah, that's not a great name. This is that kind of like Silent Hill thing, right?
Yes, it's from the guy that made Silent Hill. It's from his new game studio. You basically jump bodies, like you're this little, I don't know, demonic thing. You jump bodies and you fight demons who are also possessing other humans. I just hate the name. All right, it sounds like a slur. I can't get over it.
Yeah, it definitely has a weird vibe to it. The gameplay is really interesting.
Very janky looking, in my opinion.
It is very janky looking, kind of giving me like a less chaotic Gungrave Gore kind of look. But I will remain hopeful as always that it'll be a good game. But definitely has some jank to it, so we'll see.
You can pre-order it now. The Star Bites was shown next. This is an action or adventure RPG turn-based with mechs. Looked pretty good. No information apart from that, but I don't know if this is one like I'm not super pumped for, but it did look like a competent turn-based RPG.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything here for me personally. Do not think that's for me.
Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D got a new trailer. It's coming November 14th.
I'm happy for you.
Sarah Bond was hyping up Amazon Fire Stick, saying, "Yo, Japan, you don't need our consoles. Just plug in Amazon Fire Stick."
Okay, is the Amazon Fire Stick popular in Japan?
I have no idea.
This feels like the most American thing to be promoting, but maybe this is like the part where they are acknowledging that it's a global audience watching TGS. Maybe that's what the move is. Or maybe that's part of the contract with Amazon. And they're like, hey, you got to talk about this on at least 3 stages this year. And they're like, well, we've got 1, 2, and 3. So here we go. Weird to like shoehorn that into this, I feel.
Yeah, she was very much like, we like giving players choice, mobile, console, TVs. I'm like, all right, Sarah, you're really nailing it.
Okay, calm down.
Yeah. All right, last 3 announcements. Trials of Mana and Legend of Mana are coming today to Xbox and are available on Game Pass now.
So explain to me, we have Visions of Mana,
yes,
right? So how do these play into that for the uninitiated like myself?
Visions of Mana is the newest game in the series. Trials of Mana is a remake of an old game. Legend of Mana is a remastered version of the old game.
So Trials and Legend are the same game?
No, they're different. They're different. I don't know how they connect, but there was like there's multiple Mana games, but there's a Legend of Mana back probably, I don't know, like the SNES or something. And this is like a remaster of that. Trials of Mana is a full upload remake.
Okay, this is one that I've heard, the Mana series, I mean, is one that I've heard a lot about. King Gathalion is a streamer I used to watch a lot, and he always talked about how like the Mana series is one that he would love to see come back. So I've always had like this inkling in the back of my mind of this is something I should try one day, but I never got around to it. So these are in Game Pass. Again, might add it to the backlog. The backlog is really tough right now. So yeah, we'll see.
I've never played Legend. Trials I really liked on the Switch. You can choose from like 6 different starting characters, and then there's like 3 paths for each of like they can go down. Story's kind of whatever, but like it's really fun action combat. So
if I were to start with any of these, would Trials or Legend be the one? In chat, let me know.
I would go Trials.
So go all the way back to the beginning. Okay.
Yeah, well, Trials is the remake, so you have like the modern stuff. Legend will be an actual like, oh, I'm playing an old school game.
Oh, I thought you said Legend was the remake.
That's the remaster. That just
but these aren't the same game. But these aren't the same game.
No.
Keep going. Stop.
Just Miles Dampier, can you get in here? Final Fantasy Pixel remasters 1 through 6 are available now on Xbox.
I want everybody that begged for this to buy it. I want everybody that was blowing up Twitter last year to go buy this. Yeah. Now, I was not one of the people that was blowing up Twitter, so I'm not going to buy it. But man, this is $60. Now I've heard really good things about the value here because it's a lot of games. It is cross-buy, cross-play, cross-save, like full
play anywhere.
This is the Xbox experience. So like, this is what I would love to see every game do. So like, there's a lot of winning here. I also still just don't care. So like, I'm happy for the people that finally got this, but if you want more of it, you should probably buy it, because this is what sends the signal of, hey, this was worth the pull that they had to actually make happen.
Yep, I will be buying them at some point. They're wish listed. I might also buy like the ones I want individually, because I don't know if I want all 6.
How can
like,
you do that?
Yes, they are selling each one individually for different prices too.
Oh, I don't know about that one. Okay,
yeah.
all right.
So, like, I want 6 really bad, and maybe 4.
That's cool. I didn't know they were selling them individually. I like that. I like that a lot. That's very nice.
Yeah. Well, that is a Tokyo Game Show. We have a question from Sam Heaney. Says, with Final Fantasy 7 and 16 absent from the show, when do you guys predict that either game will be announced? The Game Awards, next Xbox Showcase, Developer Direct, next Tokyo Game Show?
It feels like we've seen the Final Fantasy games a lot during the Game Awards, right? Like that feels like a place where they usually make an appearance. So it feels like that could be one of those things where it's a day one or same day drop, you know, hey, they're on Xbox now. So I would say probably Game Awards. That's my gut. What do you think?
Game Awards seems, I think Final Fantasy 7 nowhere, we're not getting that anytime soon. I think I think the trilogy is going to be done before they come to Xbox or PlayStation.
So normally they're on like rotations, right? So it's like there are exclusivity periods, and I think Rebirth and Remake both released around March or February, right? Like that's typically whenever they would come out.
Rebirth came out this year in February.
Yeah, but then with Remake a couple of years ago, I say a couple, it's been like 5 years.
April. I think that was April.
Was that later in? Okay, I'm trying to think of like the timelines that would line up to where they could say, hey, all of these are ready and they're kosher. Like you can send them out, go forth, be on Xbox. So maybe that is something to analyze of like when is a round number of between 3 and 5 years that these things would be available for multiplayer.
I think you see 16 next year. I think 16 is coming next year.
Because wasn't there a disclaimer on the trailer that was like exclusive until and then a date? Yeah. So that definitely, I think next year is definitely going to be it. It's going to be so weird when/if they actually get Rebirth Remake out on Xbox. Like I don't even care, but like I don't know what I'm going to do with that information. You know, it's just like it's like McDonald's selling a Whopper. I'm like, what are you doing over there? You know, get back to BK. What's going on?
All I know is everyone complaining. Better go buy them, right?
Yeah. Well, once again, everybody complaining. And when Halo comes to PlayStation, I need you to buy that too.
Yeah, like, you better all go buy them. Yep.
Yeah, we've got to you put our money where our mouths are.
Y'all begging for Gears of War collection. If it comes to PlayStation, you better be dipping into the $80. All right. That's all I'm saying.
It is very interesting, that whole idea of like we begged for stuff for so long, and then it comes out. I'm like, yes, it exists, and then I'm like, I'll wait for a sale. Which again, I'm not throwing shade. Like this is what I do. I do the same thing. We all do the same thing. So
it's expensive. All right, I just got engaged. I gotta, I
felt that. I felt that. Yeah,
things to play for. Terabo writes in, says, where are the Xbox 360 Japanese exclusives? Why haven't they been remastered/remade? Why does Xbox suck? These are layups.
I mean, they're much like PlayStation, not to turn the gun around, but much like PlayStation. What's up with all this IP you just got sitting around collecting dust? Like Xbox owns half of the world at this point, and then PlayStation's got a banging back catalog, and they're like, you know what, we're going to remaster Horizon. Okay, cool. Hey, by the way, I'm a Jak and Daxter fan. Like, can I get a really great UE5 Jak and Daxter?
I haven't said this publicly, but I actually think that the remaster looks a lot better than the.
That's what I thought. Like I went back and looked, and I put a thing out on Threads, and I was like, unpopular opinion, this is totally worth $10 because everybody at this point basically owns Horizon because they gave it away for free. Like it was part of their welcome back or COVID program or whatever that thing was, the keep playing or whatever they called it.
I own both Zero Dawn and Forbidden West, and I have got both of those games for a combined $0.
Yeah. Like they have given these games away, so I'm like, you're paying $10 to get like a really, really good looking version. Now, I that does not mean that it needed a remake. Like
agreed.
It didn't need a remaster or a remake or whatever you want to call this one. But like, I ain't gonna lie, it looks good. I mean, I get why they did it. It was worth the cash. It's fine. But yeah, I would love to see more done with the back catalog, obviously, like more of the little StarCraft announcements. You know what I mean? Like the more stuff you can just pull like that. And then to the point about the Japanese Xbox 360, that was like a really meaty generation for JRPG games in general, but also the 360.
To answer your question, Terabo, I think the two biggest ones, probably Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon that everyone talks about. I think Blue Dragon total sold 500,000 copies, and I think Lost Odyssey maybe was 1,000,000. I don't think Xbox really cares about a game that probably wouldn't sell that much.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And probably wouldn't bring in Game Pass subscriptions.
Yeah, clearly the big focus is on subscription still going out of TGS.
Especially when they're all back compatible. Like you can play those games. They're on sale for $3 all the time. I know because they're on my wish list, and I still haven't bought them. One day though.
One day.
One day.
I get those Xbox emails and the Steam emails, and I'm like, this ain't that time. But I'm glad to know that it's still going on sale.
Sometimes they yell at me for games I've already bought. They did that for Alan Wake's American Nightmare for like 4 months. I was like, I already bought it.
Did you have to go in and remove them from the wish list? Yeah,
I did.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to Sony's State of Play because they had some Xbox announcements over there. First up, Hell is Us. It's an upcoming open world Souls-like action game coming to Xbox and PC in 2025. I think the name's terrible. Stupid name.
Pretty bad
also
name.
Just looks like a generic Souls-like game to me, but I saw some hype about this one.
So I'm excited about this one. Does it look kind of generic? I've seen that argument. Does it also look really pretty? Yeah. And I made a video on this today where I pulled a comment that somebody had put on the trailer, and it was like Metal Gear. What was it? It was Metal Gear Souls Death Stranding is what they called this. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty apt. It just looks weird. And for some reason, the older I get, the more I'm into weird games like the Kojima, like who thought of this? Control is another one that's kind of like just strange. So, which I still haven't played through all the way through. Sorry. But the thing about this one that I'm excited about is that I'm like, okay, how Soulsy is it? Because it's got those elements to it. Is it the Wukong Souls? Is it actual Souls? Is it going to be like the Surge, which was like, very like I'm curious where they're going to land on it. But reading through the blog post, the interesting thing about this one is that they're going, and they repeatedly said this, for an old school approach where there are no like heads up displays or markers or maps or anything. And let me tell you, my little ADHD brain over here that's been watching TikTok for 5 years, that ain't gonna line up well. Like that's gonna be. I can see the patch coming where they're like, hey, based on feedback, we've added a waypoint and like
added a map.
Yeah,
so you can tell where you're going.
Like I get the idea, but also, modern amenities are very useful.
It sounds horrible to me. Like as someone that like when I look at Tears of the Kingdom and Elden Ring, I'm like, that gives me way too much freedom. You're telling me you're taking you're pushing it even further. No, thank you. I can't deal with that.
But I mean, even with Elden Ring, or if you want to even go deeper than that, like a Far Cry, it's got a huge map, but you can still set waypoints. Like you can, like, there's a lot of freedom. You can do stuff intentionally. With this, it sounds like you're going to be wandering around trying to figure out what to do, which for some people is the dream. Like it's a lot of discovery. I get it. Like I understand it, but I don't know about that one.
Yeah, sounds horrifying to me personally, but next up, we got Arc Age Chronicles coming to Xbox and PC in 2025. This is an online action RPG set 50 years after the original MMO. Never heard of this. I have no idea what you're talking about. This was an original game. What's going on here?
I have heard really positive things about this one, if it's the same game that I'm thinking of. And for some reason, whenever I was searching it, I just copied and pasted my email. But I have heard really good things about this in terms of like, it could be a sleeper hit. At least that's what I've just seen in passing. Yeah, it's a very good looking game. I don't know about it being an online action RPG. I think that's where I start getting kind of weird about it, just because I don't know. Can I play this solo? Can I just like have a good time with it as a standalone one-off? I don't know. I need to do more research.
Yeah. Well, next up, we got Fantasian Neo Dimension lands on Xbox and PC December 5th. This is another JRPG from the creators, Mistwalker. They did Blue Dragon or Lost Odyssey. They did one of those. I forget which one. I'm not really interested in this game, to be honest. This is a mobile game. They're bringing a console. Has some hand-drawn backgrounds. Not doing it for me.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing here for me. But the more I look at Arcade, the more that I'm like, yeah, it's pretty all right. All right, I'm in. I'm
There's
kind
some
of
sweet looking combat in it, like one-on-one fights.
yeah.
It's
I'm
cool.
paying it. I'm paying attention. I'm seated. I'm ready. Okay.
Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remaster drops December 10th. I never played these games.
I haven't either. This is one of those ones. Like I classify this in the same file as the Medieval remaster that dropped in like.
I didn't like that game.
I didn't play that game.
I wanted to like it,
but it's one of those ones where I'm like, why? Like I know people have been asking for it, but like it just feels weird to just drop it out of the blue. Like, why? You know, is this going to make money? I'm curious. Like, it's a legitimate question. I don't know what the fan base is like for Legacy of Kain. I know that there was hype for this, but it just feels kind of like a deep archive poll that I wasn't expecting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is. I got a press email about this one after. I was like, yeah, I'm probably gonna, if I get a review code, then I'll check it out. But otherwise, this might be a subscription PS Plus type deal.
Yeah, same. I'm curious. Is it a platformer?
I don't know what kind of games they are. People won't stop talking about these games.
A series of dark fantasy action adventure video games. That's the most generic assessment.
It could mean anything.
It could mean anything. Could mean anything. Yeah, that's whenever you said that Hell Is Us was a Souls-like, I'm like, oh, be careful. I said that about Wolong or Wukong, whichever one it was, and I got decimated online. So.
Did you see that there's another game called Wukong on the PlayStation Store that costs like $10? It's like cute little monkey art style.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's fantastic. I love making the jokes about like I'll post a box art of Enslaved Odyssey to the West, and I'm like, Mom said we have Wukong at home. I love doing like just the dumb. Like, why are we getting all these random games that are based on the same stuff? I love that.
Next up, the only announcement I really care about from this state of play: Alan Wake 2's final expansion DLC, The Lake House, is coming in October. You will play as Agent Estevez from the FBC, exploring the lake house. Looks scary. I'm in.
I don't know if I'm in or not. I don't know if I need more Alan Wake because I didn't get the expansions. You know, like. I again, it was a very good game. I just don't think I need it right now. I think is kind of where I'm at. I would rather go back and buy the expansions later on where I can just kind of like, pummel through both of them. There are two right now, right? Between there's the one that came out
right now.
And then there's the other one. Yeah. I'll probably go back and play these eventually, but good spooky game for October, if you want to get into that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Dynasty Warriors Origins comes to Xbox January 17th, 2025. If you like Muso games, I'm happy for you.
This is one of those ones where I looked at and I was like, man, looks like a good time. Because I haven't played a Dynasty Warriors.
Sure.
Yeah, like I haven't played a Dynasty Warriors in a very long time. But going back to the GameStop clearance bin stories, this is another one that was in the you remember the wild GameStop bins where it was like you could literally dig.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would always go in and just like shove my little fat hand down in there and just like pull out whatever game was in there. And it was like a $5 copy of Dragon Age or not Dragon Age, a $5 copy of Dynasty Warriors, whatever. And I had a good time with it. So this is one that I'm like, all right, this is kind of tickling an itch. I might give it a shot.
I think that's how I discovered Destroy All Humans.
Oh man, the lost art of the GameStop clearance buy, like the blind bag. It was almost like a blind bag where you just went in and you were like, we're gonna see where fate takes me today. My mom gave me $10. We're just gonna roll the dice. Like, let's get something. I don't know what's going on, but we're getting ready to party, man.
I don't even know what this game is. All right, it doesn't even have a proper cover. It's just one of
GameStop so many times.
That's the names on it.
I remember getting stuff that was like Rock Revolution, the like not rock band that came out, and it was horrible. But I was like, you know what, $250.
GameStop made that game themselves in the back.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It's like when I go out to eat and the music's horrible, and I just make the joke every time. My fiance must be sick of it. I say, "This is the employee's mixtape." Like I say it every time.
Oh, that's solid. That's great.
Last announcement: Monster Hunter Wilds finally has a release date of February 28th, 2025. Hopefully, it means I can stop seeing this freaking game at every showcase. I'm so sick of it.
Yeah, this is once again one where I just totally tune it out every time that it's shown off. I'm sure people are super pumped about this. And I was actually Discord chatting with my friend as the show was going on, and he said, "Ooh, Monster Hunter Wilds looks pretty good." And I said, "Yeah, both of the fans will be happy." And then I was like, "I know there are more than two. I'm kidding, I'm kidding." But yeah.
No, excited. I don't care. I'll be playing Yakuza Pirates that day. So
yeah. I'll be playing Assassin's Creed Shadows probably. I might be finished with it by then, but we'll see.
Let's talk about it. Story number 3, Assassin's Creed Shadows has been delayed. Ubisoft announced Assassin's Creed Shadows was delayed until February 14th, 2025. The game will now launch on Steam day and date as well as other platforms, and pre-orders will be given the first expansion for free. They're citing polish and more time to refine the experience as the reason for the delay, but it comes just days after canceling their preview and showing at Tokyo Game Show. How are you feeling about the delay, Sam?
So obviously delays are always very important. It is the move you make whenever you need to make the move, as I would say. But this is one that anybody, as Luke said on XEP or in the XEP chat, anybody that was in the know knew that something was going down, and so the report came out from Insider Gaming that they had canceled press showings for Assassin's Creed Shadows, and that was immediately the time when you're like, oh, like if you're not ready to show this soon until launch, that's a yikes. Like, you really need to get buttoned up, and like Outlaws previews went off without a hitch, and we're talking about games that are months apart. The interesting thing about this to me, before I get into like the positives, is that during the investor announcement where they were talking about why they're doing this and this decision to go with the delay, they talked about feedback from Star Wars Outlaws, and I would assume that is there was a little bit of jank at launch, like it needed additional polish. There was feedback on the season pass model. The early access thing was a disaster on PlayStation. The saves got corrupted and ruined the progress of like all of the early access players that have made significant progress, or a lot of them. It was a rampant issue. And so between that, the season pass model getting generally destroyed online, and then the general like lack of oomph around the game, which again, I liked it. Good game, not great game. It's fine. They need more. And I think that I really like the statements that Yves Guillemot made. And I don't think it was Yves Guillemot. It was one of the company reps. But I like the statement they made about how we have to do more because gamers are expecting more. It was something in that vein. And that is really where Ubisoft finds themselves. And this is a pivotal moment where they're either going to sink or swim. Like, you're either going to keep putting out Ubisoft games that are 7 out of 10s most days of the week, unfortunately. Like, I'm not trying to generalize, but that's where they tend to find themselves. Or you're going to figure out how to up the ante and get up there where you can play with the big dogs, where Xbox and PlayStation are putting out big AAA games. I mean, you are in that sector. You're playing with those people. So you've really got to refine stuff and get to where you are playing games and making games that are 2025 worthy. Like, people expect more now, and I don't think they've modernized as well as they could have in some ways. But good changes. Steam day one, love that. I like the fact that Star Wars Outlaws is also coming to Steam in November, and then the season pass model going away. It seems like that's going to be something they do going forward. It seems like they're getting away from that. So excited to see how they test and learn with Shadows. But this is a pivotal one for them. I mean, this is arguably the most important Assassin's Creed game they've ever made. This is the one that people have asked for 10 years. So like, they really need this to be a win.
I agree with you, and I think that's a vital point to make. I don't know about the window they just moved it into, because now you have Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, you have the new Yakuza game, you have February just stacking up with bigger releases. I'm sure I'm forgetting some. I think Monster Hunter is literally two weeks after. Like, you are stacking up in February for a game that has a lot of excitement and hype around it. And if you don't nail it after falling flat with Star Wars Outlaws, your stock prices are going down every single day. Like, Ubisoft really needs to make a change, and I like what they said they're going to do. I like the changes that they're implementing here. I'm just really worried, and I especially as Sam Heaney points out in chat, Ghosts of Yotai, the Ghost of Tsushima sequel. Yotai, sorry. Listen, they should have called it Ghost of Tsushima, all right?
Oh God, don't call it Ghost of Tsushima 2. God forbid you're in the comments calling it Ghost of Tsushima 2, because people are just like, it's not a sequel, it's and I'm like, it's the next one in the series, brother. Take a step back.
Yeah. But they will have a lot of comparisons if that game's coming out next year. So if you don't nail this, you are going to compare it all, especially when that game comes out. You're going to be compared nonstop to that. Like, why would you go, oh, why would I pick up that if I can play the new Ghost game over here? Or I'll just wait and play Ghost of Yotai.
Yeah.
You know,
for the record, I also had to look up the name of the mountain because I called it Yotai and then I had to re-record.
Climbing mountains.
Yeah. But go on.
No, but I do think this is very important for them to get this right. And if they have to delay it further, like then you get into some tricky territory because I think then you push closer and closer to Ghost, and you don't want those games coming out near each other. You ideally want yours at the start of the year, and pray Sony has that plan for the end of 2025.
I mean, I think it's got to be the end of 2025. Like, it feels like a game that's on that Spider-Man level of, hey, this is going to be the holiday game for Sony. And I think that next year feels right if they're talking about like, hey, we announced it, now it's ready. Next year during June, they're going to be talking about it, I'm sure, in depth with like a 20 or 30 minute gameplay preview. But I completely agree. I think that there are things that make them different enough to where they'll both stand on their own. Like Yuzgumo called out, or the rep called out, the dual protagonist system and how the story is what's really going to carry this one. But that's controversial in and of itself in the gaming community. So they really need to make it a very, very good story that kind of carries that through. But you can't avoid the comparisons. I mean, and the optics around this too. I called that out on Threads of like, Ghost of Yotai is announced, looks phenomenal. Most exciting PlayStation game we've seen talked about in a couple of years since Spider-Man was really shown off. And then you delay Shadows the day after. Like, that's like you're basically just accepting defeat from the public eye, you know, in terms of like the toxic X user that's just out there looking for hate. Like, it's over at that point. And like I said, people will continuously talk trash until you prove them otherwise. So like, basically, it's time for them to put up. Like, let's see what you've got. Really pull out all the stops, polish this thing up, make it the best Assassin's Creed game that's ever come out, and prove people why they should stop talking. Because they will do that. Like, when the comments are proven wrong, they're like, all right, I was wrong. We want to win. So I think people are rooting for Assassin's Creed more than it seems like when you're reading through the general reactions on social media. People want a good Assassin's Creed game.
Listen, all social media is, if you search that game, is people complaining there was no black people in Japan back then, and now it's women can't be samurais for Ghost of Yotai.
I will say, like, I have seen more people in my comments clapping back at the people that are like just commenting Ghost of Wokushima or anything like that, or like anybody like that always gets the reaction. My favorite reply that I've seen to that kind of thing is go take a shower. Like, I love when I don't have to fight in the comments and other people can say the thing that I was thinking, and I just don't want to like ruffle people up.
I know they're two different countries and they're not like different time, but I said, I asked someone, did you have a problem with Mulan?
I mean, it's been very valid. It's been that I just don't understand the like. No one is appropriating your like identity as a white male. You know what I mean? Like, you are going to be okay. And there are arguments that could be made for every reason under the sun, but
I just want to stare at dudes' butts. Okay, that's what it comes. Just admit it, all right? We'll respect you. Like I tell people, all right, just tell me you're racist. Like, at least you'll be honest then. Okay.
I don't know. It's just such a tough thing to balance. And I mean, you know, I love talking about new games, and I'm very excited for Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I want to talk about it with my full chest. But it's like, man, the community and the conversations that are in that right now are so insufferable. Like, I just dread some of those, and I'm trying to balance like hype versus like, God, I just want to let this one, like, I'm just gonna play the game and not talk about it because I don't need that heat. I'm good.
Oh yeah. Ooh, that review's coming in hot, huh?
Oh God, I'll do it. You know, like, it's part of the gig, but yeah, it's gonna be an interesting couple of months here, I believe.
All right. Well, we'll see how Assassin's Creed does. Everyone celebrate Valentine's Day by playing some Assassin's Creed together.
Yeah, I'm gonna celebrate Assassin's Creed by I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be in the living room playing Assassin's Creed. That's my Valentine's Day.
All right, Sam. Well, that will do it for today's show. Can you let everyone know where they can find you, my friend?
Yeah, you can find me over JamPackSam on TikTok, Threads, Instagram, YouTube, all those good places. Making content throughout the week. Got a little surprise coming in hot tomorrow. I didn't mention it earlier in the show, but High Ground sent me over a little surprise. Got a little Kojima Productions collab with a keyboard, so I'll be doing some stuff on that tomorrow. Excited about that. You know, we'll hold it up. I've been
beautiful. Oh God. Hold it up.
Yeah. I'll unplug it so that we can actually get the shot in there. But there's your Ludens on the keyboard. I'm a big fan so far. Feels very good. Has good keys on it, so that's coming soon. But as always, you can find me here every week chatting up games. I always love this highlight of my week every week. So thanks for having me back again, my friend.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm glad you continue to do it with me, and we can joke about Japanese games.
yeah, I love joking about Japanese games.
So you know what we need? We need a bro shooter showcase.
Oh God! Then yeah, 3 hours long of me rambling about various bro shooters and all the guys' butts I can look at all week.
Well, you can find me on every social
just glaze
media.
past that one, and you're like, anyways, you can find me over there.
All right. The Muffin Mon everywhere. It's a 107I, 007A. Follows that Save Game Media. Stay up to date with all of our latest content. Brandon just put out his Key Locker review. We were sent a code for that. He reviewed that over on PlayStation. So the review is out. Go give that some love if you haven't. That's a turn-based cyberpunk indie RPG. So thanks everyone for listening. We will see you